Have I abandoned my soul? I was catching up with an old friend, and towards the end of our conversation, she hit me with this line: "You've changed since we last hung out." For some reason, those words drained me and left me feeling hollow inside. There was no negativity in her voice, yet that statement still struck me. The fact that she noticed that I had changed is what disturbed me most, because I do not feel that I have changed for the better. I don't exactly feel I have changed for the worse, either. But I feel distant from myself now, and that statement confirmed those feelings. It begs the question, as we age, is it our bodies that change, or is it our souls? The idea of my soul being malleable frightens me to the bone. In my mind, the soul is the very essence of my being. It is people at their purest. I believe that we are born with a soul, and that soul is like an internal beacon to guide us through this convoluted existence. I think this is why we tend to view children as so pure, because their souls are guiding them as instinct does, and they are yet to learn to ignore or downplay that intuition. I imagine our soul acts like a flame. We can fan that flame and keep it strong, bright, and warm, or we can dampen it or even snuff it out. It feels unnatural to me that something so strong and pure as the soul can be tainted or altered to a large degree, that it changes the person at their core. This is what I hope, at least. I don't think I am alone in saying that it feels like a lot of the values modern society promotes and rewards are not positive at their core. Something about it feels off, sometimes even like the inverse of how we are meant to function. As I have grown up, these insidious values have chipped away at me. I have gotten better at disregarding my own intention and intuition. I practically have a PhD in putting things off that are important to me for some unoriginal, greater good. What's worse is I do this all under the guise of adulting. Greed, lust, envy, power, they can certainly be enticing to many. But to act greedily once doesn't change a person. After all, that was a fluke, a one-time thing, a slip-up. It's when we repeatedly neglect our morals in pursuit of some bullshit that we as people begin to change. We're all guilty of it at some point. And it isn't easy to constantly push back against these ideals that seem to be omnipresent in one way or another. I feel that I am a completely different person from the one I was growing up. I'm not simply referring to how I have grown as a person, but I feel different on a fundamental level. When I allow myself a chance to be still and take a deep breath, I notice a vast and expanding disconnect between how I feel I should be living and how I actually go about my life. It is simple stuff, like volunteering more, stopping and checking in, actually checking in on my friends and family, taking some time to be more spiritual and grateful for what I have, etc. Those urges give me a glimpse of hope before I shove my head back up my ass and continue on. No matter what I do or who I become or how vastly I change, it's still me. Again, I imagine my soul is similar to a flame that at this point I have neglected, and so it has dwindled greatly, occasionally being rekindled only to be snuffed out and rekindled again and again over 26 short years. It is likely the neglect of my very essence that leads me to feel as though I must wade through this shallow life. I, as a person, may have changed, and if my soul has been tainted too, wouldn't I be loving this ill-natured life? Wouldn't I feel great about giving in to greed and chasing money and power? I'd imagine so, as my actions would align with my jagged soul. Instead, I find myself itchy, as I feel the guilt pile up beneath my skin. I don't know if my life actually has any meaning to it. There is a good chance that nothing matters at all. I might not even have a soul. I cannot prove or disprove any of this. But if there is a chance, even the slightest change, that I was put here with some sense of purpose, I would genuinely regret ignoring it. I have found that things only tend to make sense in hindsight, which makes the present and future incredibly ambiguous. We have no choice but to move forward. There's no other way to write this without it sounding pretty woo-woo, but nonetheless, I think the best path forward is one guided from within. Truly from within, not from the ideologies and notions we absorb. We should fan the flame that is our soul, making it so bright that it can comfort us through a cold and dark night. I believe that if I can do that, I might actually feel good about feeling alive.